California. Today, it's known as a land of innovation, movies, technology, and opportunity. But behind that image is a much deeper story. A story of discovery, conflict, ambition, and reinvention. Long before Europeans arrived, this land was home to indigenous peoples. By the early 1500s, an estimated 130,000 native people lived across the region. They spoke many different languages and lived in environments ranging from the Pacific coast to the mountains, forests, and deserts. These communities were deeply connected to the land. They hunted, fished, gathered acorns, built complex tools and homes, and developed wide trading networks. Their societies were diverse, resilient, and deeply rooted in tradition. That world changed in the 16th century, when the first European explorers reached these shores. In 1542, Spanish explorer Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo sailed along the California coast. But Spain didn't immediately settle the region. For more than 200 years, California remained largely untouched by European colonization. That changed in 1769. Spanish missionaries began building permanent settlements. Led by Father Junipero Serra, a chain of 21 missions was established along the California coast. These missions became centers of religion, agriculture, and colonial authority. Native people were drawn into the mission system, often under force. Traditional ways of life were disrupted. Disease, labor, and cultural loss took a heavy toll. In 1821, Mexico won independence from Spain, and California became part of the Mexican Republic. The mission system was gradually dismantled, and large land grants, known as ranchos, were given to private landowners. Cattle ranching and trade became central to life in the region. During this period, American settlers began moving west. They traveled long and dangerous routes that would later be known as the California Trail. In 1846, war broke out between the United States and Mexico. American forces entered California. By 1848, the war ended, and California officially came under U.S. control through the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Then came a discovery that changed everything. On January 24th, 1848, Carpenter James Wilson Marshall discovered gold at a sawmill on the American River, at a place called Sutter's Mill. The land belonged to John Sutter, who had hoped to build a farming empire. Instead, the discovery triggered one of the largest mass migrations in world history. At first, the discovery was kept quiet, but the news spread fast. By the end of 1848, thousands of people were heading to California. The California Gold Rush had begun. More than 300,000 people eventually arrived. They came from across the United States, from Europe, from Latin America, and from China. Many left behind their homes, their families, and everything they knew. The journey was long and dangerous. Some crossed the continent by wagon, enduring deserts, mountains, and disease. Others sailed around Cape Horn or crossed the Isthmus of Panama. When they arrived, they found a land transformed. Tent camps and boom towns appeared almost overnight. At first, miners searched for gold with simple pans and shovels. Later, mining became more complex, using water channels, machinery, and deep shafts. Life was harsh. Food was expensive. Disease was common. Violence and lawlessness were widespread. And despite the dream of quick riches, most miners never found significant gold. Merchants, suppliers, and landowners often made more money than the miners themselves. Still, vast amounts of gold were pulled from the earth. Billions of dollars worth by today's standards. This sudden wealth fueled rapid economic growth across the country. Cities grew fast. San Francisco transformed from a small settlement into a major port city almost overnight. Ships crowded the harbor. Many were abandoned as crews rushed inland to search for gold. But the gold rush also brought suffering. Conflicts over land and resources intensified. Indigenous communities were devastated, losing their land, their livelihoods, and often their lives. With the population growing rapidly, the need for government became urgent. In 1850, just 2 years after the discovery of gold, California was admitted to the United States as the 31st state. The gold rush had accelerated statehood. By the early 1850s, the easy gold was gone. Mining became industrialized, controlled by companies rather than individuals. The age of the lone prospector slowly faded, but the impact of the gold rush never disappeared. It accelerated the development of roads, railroads, and cities. It expanded agriculture and trade, and it set the stage for California's future. In the decades that followed, California continued to transform. Railroads connected it to the rest of the nation. Farming expanded dramatically. Cities grew, and new industries emerged. In the 20th century, California transformed again. Hollywood rose to become the center of the global film industry. During World War II, the state became a hub for shipbuilding, aviation, and defense. Later, the rise of Silicon Valley brought a new kind of revolution, one based not on gold, but on technology and ideas. Today, California stands as one of the most influential regions in the world, economically, culturally, and technologically. Its story is not only about gold. It is about people, those who came seeking fortune, those who lost everything, and those who built something new from uncertainty. From indigenous roots to the digital age, California has been shaped by waves of change. And the search for opportunity, the true legacy of the gold rush, continues to this day.